you've written before, and I know talked about on your podcast, just humility as a vital trait of any leader. In the SEALs, if you're not humble, it could get you and your team killed. How does that work exactly? Is it about closing yourself off from ideas from other people?
That's definitely one of them. You know, if you and I are working together and I'm the boss and I have a big ego and I think I'm better than you and you come to me with an idea, I immediately shut you out. Well, what if your plan was a better plan? Or what if you had some piece of knowledge that made sense for a particular operation, but my ego is too big to listen to you? Well, now we go out and we put lives at risk and possibly lose lives because my ego is too big. Same thing you could say about the enemy, right? If I don't think the enemy is any good, the enemy's no good, they don't train hard, and they're not prepared for the big tough SEALs. Well, if you have that attitude, guess what? Maybe those guys are training harder. And if you start cutting corners in your training, you're going to get caught. And obviously, it's the same thing in the business world. When a company's doing well, if the company stays humble while they're doing well, they're still looking for how they can improve. They're still looking for things that they can do better. And they will stay on top. But the minute a company says, that's right, we're the best, and no one else even stands a chance, well, guess what? Those people down there on the bottom, they're hungry, and they're going to come and get them.
So you didn't start out as a leader. You worked your way up through the ranks, and you learned from people and experiences. Who or what shaped you?
Well, I was really lucky. Again, it's a great environment to grow up in. You know, from a kid, basically, seeing and being in SEAL platoons with varied types of leadership. And I was very lucky that I saw really outstanding leaders, and I saw some leaders that weren't outstanding at all, far from it.
And you can learn from both.
And I learned from both, you know. And even as a young kid, I wouldn't put it together 100%, but I'd say, man, that guy does something that makes us all want to do a good job for him. I want to act like that guy. And this guy over here, he makes us all mad, and we don't even want to come to work and work for him. I'm not going to act like him. And eventually, I kind of figured out what those traits were that they had, and actually humility being one of the most important ones that I noticed with the people we wanted to work for and I wanted to do a good job for. Those guys were the most humble people. And ironically, always the most experienced, too. So the most experienced people would be the most humble, and the least experienced people would be the least humble, and be the most imposing of how they wanted to do things, which is not a good way to lead.